Capital Games! Stop up your game! Ladies and gentlemen, Gongi the Droids! I'm coming live today! Yes! NERFS! Our communication! Holy cow! My 8-year-old sister has better communication running a lemonade stand. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary, frickin' get me over there right now. I'm just get me over there! Listen, Capital Games! I'm gonna give you a couple digits here. Let me just count them out for you, all right? 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. How many zeros are there? Billion? I don't care. Communicate. Give us direction. And for the love of all that is, what the heck? You guys still drive this car? Stop nerfing everything. Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Let's get back to the biggest and deadliest Stardust story. It's not all gonna be pure rage, more controlled rage. Come back over, ladies, gentlemen, Gungans, droids, even the Kiadi Mundi Coneheads. We need to talk a lot about what's going on in the game. I want to talk about fun stuff, not this crap. Oh man, in the past 24 hours, we're getting hit with nerf after nerf after nerf. But hey, let's do some positive stuff before we get going on the Capital Games fiasco that is going on right now in the Galaxy of Heroes community. How about this? How about if I just don't do pure rage? Gary, can we roll some challenge tier with Master Kenobi and phase challenge tier 1, challenge tier 2, Gary? Thank you so much. Deep breaths. Everyone with me? Don't you feel better? All right, we're gonna roll some challenge tier gameplay of Master Kenobi. Quick story short. A lot of people ask me how's Master Kenobi in the challenge tiers. Not really ideal in challenge tier 3, but you're gonna see challenge tier 1, challenge 2, challenge tier 2 gameplay while we talk about the news going on in Galaxies. And I'm gonna start off on a slightly positive note here. Polygons! Ha! So you may have seen this in the data mines, but the data mines have shown that we're getting a lot of new artwork updates, and there's 2 schools of thought going on right now. I'll tell you which one I'm in. But first school of thought is, hey, you know, there's usually a correlation with reworked art to the character being needed or important, or maybe a rework down the road. So here's a couple of data mines from SWGH.GG. Gasmaster, General Skywalker himself, getting a little bit of a facelift, matching his Jedi Knight variant, and of course, Lord Vader coming to the game in a few short weeks. And apparently, Jedi Anakin got a little touch of as well. But kind of interesting, we got Count Dooku getting a little change, going from the Clone Wars animated series look to Sir Christopher, who played Count Dooku in episodes 2, 1, and was it in episode 1? I don't think it was in episode 1. Episode 2 and episode 3. It's kind of a weird change, but you know what? Kind of like it. And then the B1 battle droid getting a little bit of a facelift, as well as B2, and even all the PvE, the player versus, you know, random enemies out there. B1s are getting a change as well. So it's a good thing they're trying to update some coats of paint on things, because you know me, truly, I've been a big hater of the polygons in this game, but they're trying to make some improvements to keep up with other competing games out there. So I'm thinking this is more just to kind of update the look of a variety of things, especially if they're updating the looks of the B1 enemies you fight in the cantina battles and whatnot. Probably just meant to make the game look a little bit prettier, and I hope they keep going down the road of updating the looks of some old characters, because other games are updating their old, very young games to more modern standards. So good to see that, but let's move on to NERFS. Holy cow! So it's not too much of a shock. We saw on the road ahead that there are some big daddy nerfs coming to the game. Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, General Anakin Skywalker, heck, even Wat Tambor, Darth Vader, and even some minor things like C-3PO. The list goes on and on and on. But it has left some things out in the open. Like, hey, it looked like Captain Rex would still be a relevant counter up against things like Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Well, no! We got to yeet that too, apparently. Ha! It's difficult being a director of the video gaming division, let me tell you here. So we got more nerfs and changes coming soon. So they're making changes to Supreme Leader Kylo Ren's AI. As you guys know, Captain Rex is a pretty decent counter up against Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, probably the best low-budget, non-legendary counter to Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, using Captain Rex lead, 3 other clones, and throwing him Barris in that 5th slot. And because the AI was so poorly handled by Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. He would never use his other abilities when Fives is present and General Anakin Skywalker was not. Basically trying to make sure he doesn't accidentally hit the sacrifice while they're making changes to that. So it seems like the Captain Rex counter is out the window. And you know what? On top of that, we're going to add some other characters getting some NERFs, C-3PO's confusion, Darth Trey's isolate, Greedo's threaten, Jango Fett's conflagration. So it's great to be in Galaxy of Heroes today. So two sides look at this. I know Supreme Leader Kylo Ren owners, a lot of them are very upset seeing how Kylo Ren was so poorly managed up against Captain Rex. So I know a lot of people will be happy about that, but it's another free-to-play counter, a non-GL counter. Looks like it's going down the Rancor pit, if you ask me. Now, here's where things become a really spicy meatball. Everyone put a smile on with me. Simple communication. I know I was kind of joking at the beginning about how my 8-year-old sister, she ran a lemonade stand recently, and man, she had a lot better communication. She wasn't a $1 billion lemonade stand. I mean, she became $1 billion once I bought the rest of her inventory, but nonetheless, I digress. This is very controversial, and it seems really sketchy, seems really shady. There's Google Play points. If you guys know about, I've made this known for a long time. Even if you're an iOS user like myself, even if you're in another country, there's been really never an excuse to whale out on iOS when it's so easily accessible to get the BlueStacks or any sort of Android emulator. And if you're in a different country, you could have used a VPN to pretend you're in the United States. I guess everyone in the galaxy is in the United States, if you think about it. So Google Play points, anytime you'd spend money, not just in Galaxy Heroes, but anywhere else using an Android device, an actual Android device or an Android emulator, like I like to use for a variety of streaming and recording needs out there, completely free, by the way, you would gain points. And as a result of gaining these points, whether you're paying for a subscription for HBO or your Netflix or whatever, or doing in-app purchases for Galaxy Heroes, Marvel Strike Force, the list goes on and on what you might be doing, you would earn Google Play points. And as a result, you could redeem them for a variety of games out there. And one of them being Galaxy of Heroes. And the great thing about these packs here that you would get, well, before they were called Small Galactic Enhancement Kit and Large Galactic Enhancement Kit. Now it's Advancement Kit. Before you're able to get tons and tons of fleet energy as well as normal energy. Well, silently, zero just if you don't want this to happen, just tell us up front that, yeah, you know, guys, it was cool for a while, but we got it. They silently nerfed this. And this hurt not just whales and krakens, but people who maybe spend a little bit of money or just people who got free points just from a variety of other means that hoarded that stuff. For example, to get Razor Crest shards with this Galactic Chase event going on right now. No! It seems like they didn't like people using that energy to getting some Razor Crest shards. Or what I like to do is I like to hoard my energy for Galactic Legends, because there's really no other way to get lots of energy in this game, free to play or even pay to play, except that one pack that comes out like once every week that has some energy inside of it. They just silently nerfed this, and let me show you what it's looking like now. We did the large and small enhancement or advancement bundle. I'm sorry. No longer is there any energy left in here. And it seems kind of deliberate because they changed the name, so it's not like it accidentally got kicked out. Maybe they forgot to bring it in. I'm going to give a little bit of hope to everyone out there, whether you're free to play, pay to play. Maybe they're just temporarily disabling it during this Galactic Chase event, because maybe they didn't like people. We don't want free to play peasants using their free Google Play points to getting more Razor Crest shards when the Executor's right around the corner. No, who said you can get the Executor for free? No, you got to buy the pack out of the store. Am I being too cynical, Gary? I don't know. I'm in a really good mood. Believe it or not, this might be a push to make sure you're not using your Razor or your fleet energy for getting Razor Crest. This might be a push to make sure you're buying the pack, because the pack becomes irrelevant if you have free Google Play points sitting around. So CG, Capital Games, if you're going to take it away, give a heads up beforehand, because a lot of people use Google Play points to budget around their Galaxy Heroes experience. Again, free to play, pay to play, Mega Kraken, a little Dolphin, maybe a little Plankton, whatever the case might be. No communication on big things like this. It just seems sketchy and shady. I'm sure they're gonna be like, oh, we forgot to mention it, but just come on. If this is gonna be a thing, let's make a post about it. Heck, even hide yourselves on the podcast or something like that. Maybe put it on there so I can reconvey the message to the masses. This is just uncalled for. Simple, minor things like this go a long way. If you just give people a heads up and just kind of show us where you're going. Communication, baby. Communication. Oh, unfortunate. I'm hoping it's just a temporary thing where they disable the energy and not permanent, but it's not a good look. Not a good look. And again, the argument I see is like, oh, this is good. They nerfed it again. This does, even if you didn't have an Android device, you could have used a free VPN, a free emulator, and you could have been doing this yourself. There really was no excuse unless you just didn't have a computer accessible to get an emulator on your device. This hurts everybody, whether you believe it or not. Yeah. Moving on. Man, the salt on Reddit and the community, it's on a whole other level, man. I'm going to need to try to balance the salt out later on. Some sweetness, Gary. All right, moving on. Moving on. Oh man, this is just salt on the wound of all the salt going on right now. Poor communication, and it just seems like they're never really, I mean, maybe it's we should be used to this, but it just seems like we're never really getting anything that's maybe in the community's interest as a whole. They're doing all these silent things behind the scenes, because if they announce this publicly, it might not go over well. Remember the unending loyalty bug for the negotiator? Well, we kept getting excuses why they couldn't get around to it. 2 years later, they finally fixed the unending loyalty bug, which basically was an unending loyalty bug, like almost a permanent unending loyalty on Jedi Anakin that would cause a lot of complications. Well, they finally fixed it, but right before their new pay-to-play ship comes out around the corner, the exec, it's like, oh, come on, that is just shady, baby. Oh, I just thought this was worth bringing up because this is definitely shady business right here. It's like, come on, all these silent nerfs, additional nerfs that at least Republic that we saw right here, and then silently fixing things because it's in their financial interest to fix something like this because the negotiator is more accessible now than the executor. We can't have these peasants beating the new thing, baby. Come on! Business 101. And I just thought to bring this up here as well, man. This executor business, in case you guys didn't know, this is a pretty anti-free-to-play player thing in general. Unless you're spending money, it's gonna be a long time to get this guy because you're only gonna get 10 shards per month for free. Right now, it's looking like it's gonna take you more than 2 years to 7-star this capital ship without paying for refresh, and that's not even including the amount of time it's gonna take to get to the relegate requirements and all the 7-star ships, the Razor Crest, and all that fun stuff. It's like, man, this game needs to bring something positive, a slam dunk to kind of offset a lot of this. Communication is the first step. We need to get some communication, especially on these Google Play nerfs and all these other nerfs going on right now. It's like, oh man, it's not a good look right now. My hope is that the executor is going to be a different type of event where after a year it's permanently available and you don't have to wait 2 additional years to get the capital ship up and running. Again, there's so many questions out there, not enough answers. The weekend's around the corner. Let's get some layups. Let's slam dunk a lot of these problems into the oblivion because, man, $1 billion plus game, and it just seems like they are just trying to get us. And let me tell you, that road ahead wasn't given a lot to us, if you know what I mean. So we're going to wrap it up right there, ladies and gentlemen. Just had to get a few things off my chest right there. I mean, I'm in a great mood, believe it or not, but it's like, just some things get under my skin. I'll say this. I know plenty of people, especially the Google Play Point nerf. It's not like they're going on strike or anything like that or holding their spending. A lot of people would purposely spend money they didn't really need to on stupid packs that maybe weren't worth the value just for Google Play Points when there was 4 times the Google Play Points. I have a feeling this is going to hurt them in one way or another. It's like, there's not much incentive if you can't get the energy down the road. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe we're overreacting. Maybe the salt is just a little too real right now. Maybe we just need some good news out there to lighten the mood a little bit. Nonetheless, it was great seeing you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by the biggest and deadliest Star Destroyer. Like if you did enjoy the video, maybe all the rage that we had there. Comment down below on all your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And just always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today. Or what was that, Larry? What was that in today's Bad Batch episode? Join the Empire, and you will have purpose. See you guys later.